Are you ready to become a change maker? Our 48-week postgraduate program in public policy or the PGP may be just the thing for you. This hybrid program is designed to give you both the theoretical foundation and hands-on experience needed to excel in policy making. With a mix of expert-led webinars, in-person workshops, and policy simulation exercises, you'll gain real-world skills along with personalized mentorship. Through our policy programs, we connect good people to good ideas and good networks. Apply now at the link in the description to make an impact.
Welcome to All Things Policy, a daily podcast by the Takshashila Institution. We are a bunch of policy nerds based in Bengaluru, and we like bringing fresh perspectives to Indian affairs and Indian perspectives to global affairs. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and join us for today's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of All Things Policy, your daily podcast on news, public policy, tech policy, economic policy, and more. I'm Winifred Gurung, Communications Manager at Takshashila Institution, and today we are diving into a topic that's fundamentally reshaping how we think, learn, and create about artificial intelligence. But more specifically, we're asking, is AI quietly killing our curiosity and critical thinking? Or is it simply making us more efficient? As we explore this new landscape, it's clear that AI tools like ChatGPT have become indispensable. They offer instant answers, automate tasks, and streamline processes. But in this convenience lies a creeping dependence. Why struggle with a problem when an AI can solve it effortlessly? Joining me to break this down is my co-communications manager and an AI skeptic, Saurav Manaraprayal.
Hello, Winnie. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I think this conversation is long overdue now that AI like ChatGPT has become a daily tool, whether for students, working professionals, or even creatives. And I think the way AI is changing our relationship with information is quite fascinating. Like, we moved from a world where learning was a laborious process, where one answers, you know, it's a click away, right? And this shift has profound implications on how we think and learn.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fascinating or maybe a little scary how quickly our relationship with information has shifted, right? Like back in the day, if you had a tricky homework problem, you'd just go to the library, dig through books, and eventually figure it out yourself. But now you just type it into ChatGPT, get an answer in 2 seconds, and move on. So there's no struggle or deep thinking.
Exactly. And I think the big question is, are we still learning? Or are we really outsourcing our thinking to a machine now? Because once you start handing over your mental work to AI, you eventually weaken your own ability to think deeply. And I think that's one of the scariest long-term impacts, because this isn't just about students, it affects professionals too. Because when we rely on AI for tasks that require mental effort, we're essentially outsourcing our cognitive abilities.
That reminds me, we co wrote this brilliant op ed recently called Curiosity in the Age of AI. And one part that really stuck with me was when you said, the thrill of discovery, the joy of intellectual pursuit, slowly eroded by the seductive ease of machine generated answers. And that hit really hard.
Because that's exactly what's happening. We are creating a shortcut culture. People no longer want to struggle or dig deep for answers. They just want fast, pre-processed information, anything that an AI tool spews out. And tools like ChatGPT provide exactly that.
Yeah.
This is a classic case of cognitive offloading. And this is where individuals depend on technology for tasks that typically require mental effort. Because the more we do this, the more our cognitive abilities weaken. In fact, like, research has shown that over-reliance on AI tools can impair critical thinking skills. Like, think about this. When AI provides quick answers, users become less inclined to engage deeply with information. And this is concerning, especially in education, where critical thinking is essential for learning, also to understand complex concepts.
Maybe you could give an example of that?
Okay, so imagine this. While we were in school, we were given probably a book to read and maybe dissect it and, write an essay on it. So imagine instead of reading War and Peace, students now ask ChatGPT for a summary. And instead of writing a thoughtful essay, they ask ChatGPT to generate one. And in doing so, they're not just outsourcing tasks, they're outsourcing their thinking. And this is a trend, and it's not limited to students. Professionals are also using AI to streamline their work process. For instance, AI can help with data analysis, report writing, and even strategic planning. But the question remains, are we using AI to augment our abilities or replace them?
Yeah, so we've also mentioned some data in our op-ed, and for example, according to the 2024 annual Student Quest survey by IC3 Institute and Flame University, almost 85% of school students worldwide, they rely on AI tools for things like assignments, research, and even career guidance.
Yeah, and it's not just in India. Like a Pew Research Center survey found that in the US, the number of teens aged 13 to 17 have been using ChatGPT for schoolwork,
Hmm.
and it doubled in just 1 year. Like it jumped from 13% from, like in 2023 to 26% in 2024. And this rapid adoption, like, highlights how deeply AI is ingrained in our educational system. But what does this mean for the future of learning and also critical thinking?
That's crazy, no?
Yeah, like think about it. Like if a quarter of high schoolers are already using ChatGPT to do their work, what
Hmm.
happens to their ability to think independently? Like what happens to their curiosity? This isn't just about academic performance, it's about the thinkers we're producing. Are we creating a generation that relies on machines for every problem, or are we like fostering individuals who can officially and critically evaluate information and make informed decisions?
So another interesting aspect, is how AI is affecting creative fields. So, for instance, AI-generated art and music are becoming increasingly popular, right? So, do you think this is a positive development or a sign of creative laziness?
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, it is a double-edged sword. On one hand, AI can inspire new ideas and automate repetitive tasks. But on the other, relying too heavily on AI might stifle the creativity that you originally had. And for instance, India thrives on Jugaad, like which is smart, resourceful problem solving in double quotes. But AI chatbots are the ideal tool. It automates tasks, it can deliver instant solution with minimal effort, and more than shortcuts, they embody efficiency at scale. And it's perfect for a culture built on making things work smarter. And these tools serve everyday uses, from writing a resignation email, pretending to understand, how you want to leave the company, or if you want to make a snarky comment at your boss in a very subtle way. Or then again, in a group debate, you can actually have cliff notes about, what geopolitics is and maybe sound smarter in a room,
Hmm.
but you never know. Like, I'm not saying that people should completely shun these mediums or dismiss that they have expedited efficiency. They should come with a lot of perks. I mean, this growing reliance on AI can be concerning. I mean, I know they offer efficiency, but it should not replace human ingenuity, dude. Like, you can use it to enhance and refine your ideas, but then again, don't let it overshadow your part of the work. I mean, it can be a powerful tool for artists and writers in the creative industry, but then again, augment it, not do not replace it.
You know what I miss? The struggle, like back in school, if you didn't understand something, you had to like wrestle with it, read multiple books, ask friends, make mistakes. But the struggle was where learning actually happened.
Yeah, I know. Like, I remember like having conversations with my like hour-long conversations with my friends. Maybe the previous night of a big exam. It was during my boards. Me and my friends always used to be on call, like maybe from 12 o'clock to like 3 a.m., just discussing what to do.
Hmm.
Like, but now I don't think these guys do that now. The struggle is disappearing. You don't have to wrestle with a problem anymore. You can just ask ChatGPT and get an instant answer. And it is kind of dangerous because the struggle is where critical thinking is built. And every time you struggle with a math problem or maybe a concept in history, you were actually strengthening your cognitive muscles. You were learning how to think critically
Hmm.
and actually connect dots. But now the entire mental process is gone.
So, in a way, we're not just outsourcing tasks to AI, we are outsourcing intellectual effort.
There is a long term danger because when you actually stop struggling, you stop thinking. Because I feel so AI does not kill curiosity. Okay, just take my word for it. But it does, you know, get you to adhere to a certain level of passivity. This is why it's crucial to take a proper balance between using AI as a tool and maintaining our critical thinking skills. We need to ensure that AI enhances our abilities without replacing them.
Yeah, so now we know, like, it's very clear that AI is here to stay, but how can we ensure that it, enhances our curiosity rather than stifling it?
Remember when you called me your assistant the first few days, while I joined
Wow.
as a comms manager, your assistant to the comms manager? You can use the same thing. Use AI as an assistant and not a mentor. Because these tools can free us from complex work, allowing us to focus deeper thinking and creativity. But they shouldn't replace rational thinking. Do not rely solely on them. It's important to remember that these tools can provide multiple answers to a question, but just because the tool answers doesn't mean it's the only one. So we should question everything it says and explore more.
That's a great point, and thank you for that example, Saurav. And it's also important to remember, that AI tools can inspire new ideas by automating repetitive tasks and providing new perspectives, right? But if artists and writers they rely too heavily on AI, they might just lose the unique touch and that comes from human creativity.
I'm stressing this point again and again.
Mm.
The irony is quite evident. AI does not kill creativity, it just exposes how people settle for mediocrity.
Mm.
The real question is not whether AI makes people lazy, but it just reveals how lazy they already are. So it's like a call to action for us to reflect on how we use AI and ensures that it complements our abilities rather than replacing them.
Okay, so now let's explore some historical examples where struggle led to significant breakthroughs. Think about scientists like Newton or Einstein. They didn't have AI, but they made groundbreaking discoveries through sheer intellectual struggle and curiosity. So, how can we encourage that kind of curiosity and perseverance today?
Um, I know educators play a crucial role in
Hmm.
designing curricula that emphasize critical thinking.
Hmm.
So maybe encouraging students to question and explore, also experiment. So these can build cognitive muscles. Like I remember in school, like we never. So the whole computer lab we had was just a space for us to go and play pinball all the time,
Wow.
and also like go on Wikipedia and like type in whatever and maybe read something on it.
Hmm.
But we've never actually used it in a right way, you could say, because
Hmm.
maybe for our assignments we've never got to go to the computer lab and
Hmm.
do our research on the tech that the school provided us. So maybe changing a bit of structure on that, maybe
Hmm.
allowing students to use tech but in a controlled environment.
Another important aspect is AI literacy. So, if students lack the ability to critically evaluate AI outputs, they might, end up using information that is inaccurate or outdated. So, how can we ensure that students are equipped to handle AI responsibly?
So the thing about education policy, and I'm not going to dive deep into that, it is a bit outdated.
Hmm.
And I believe that educators should teach students on how to use AI effectively,
Hmm.
like mostly the tools.
Hmm.
And they should know how to question and verify the information the tools provide. So this way students can benefit from AI without losing their critical thinking skills.
Also, research has shown, right, that increased reliance on AI tools is linked to diminished critical thinking abilities among students and cognitive offloading, where individuals depend on AI for tasks that typically require mental effort, is a major contributor to this decline.
Yeah, so it's something like the over reliance and the technical know-how on how to use these AI tools in our daily lives. So, as I told you, using it as an assistant is the best approach to take than using it as a mentor. So, when you rely too heavily on
Hmm.
AI for decision making or problem solving, we risk our abilities to critically evaluate information and make informed decisions.
Okay, so Saurav, final takeaway is AI making us smarter or lazier?
Is that a trick question? Because I'm gonna say it's just making us lazier, but not
Hmm.
because of AI. It's because we are choosing the easy way out. If I just say, like,
Hmm.
AI, as I said, does not kill curiosity. It just reveals how little curiosity we already had. And the future certainly belongs to those who can blend the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And using AI to enhance the productivity while maintaining our critical thinking skills is so important.
Yeah.
And it's something that everyone should know. Like, for instance, when we do copywriting for most of our social media work that we do for Takshashila, like we do use AI tools.
Yeah.
But then again, we know how to like spot
Yeah.
what's an AI generated blurb.
Yeah.
So we know how to work around it. That's because we still have the critical thinking skills that's required to tackle these problems. But I don't think someone who's new to this field and who's solely relying on AI tools can get to know the difference.
So we are smart.
We are smart. Like, yeah.
All right. So listeners, next time you are tempted to ask ChatGPT something, maybe just pause, struggle with the problem first, because that's where real learning happens.
Exactly. So please use it as a tool, not a brain. Please use it wisely. And remember, curiosity is what drives innovation and progress. And let's not, let AI become a crutch that stifles our curiosity and creativity.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of All Things Policy. Thank you so much, Saurav. That was a very interesting, fun conversation.
Thank you.
And thanks to all the listeners, and join us next time for more insightful discussions on policy, tech, and beyond. Bye.
Bye.
If you liked our show, dive into Takshashila's research on technology, strategy, and economic affairs. Check us out at our Twitter handle @Takshashila INST or our website takshashila.org.in.